Welcome to our kitchen. My name is Mrs. Painter from Cooking with Mrs. Painter in Alaska Experience. Usually we do videos for canning, giving examples of how to prepare food using our canned sauces from our book. But today we're actually going to do something a little differently. We're going to share with you some of the food things that we do in our family that we feel contributes to our health. Today we're going to make kombucha tea. Kombucha tea is a fermented drink. Now this is not my recipe, this is a recipe from old, but I'd like to share it with you so that you can make it for your family. First, we don't really need too much to make kombucha tea. We have boiling water, about 2 quarts of boiling water, a large glass jar, some raw cane sugar, and 10 green tea bags. What we're going to do is go ahead and add our tea bags to our jar. We're going to add our raw cane sugar to our jar. And our water has come to a boil, so we're going to go ahead and turn our burner off and add our water. Now I just want to caution, it's a good idea to make sure your lid is on really securely because I have burned myself before with steam without popping off. So this is really hot, and we're not going to be able to add our SCOBY to it for several hours. SCOBY is a natural accumulation of healthy bacteria and yeast from the environment, and it's a living creature, so you don't want to freeze it and you don't want to cook it. So we're probably going to wait to add our SCOBY to this till the morning, but let me go ahead and give you an idea of what a SCOBY is. And also just say that once we do add our SCOBY to it, we're going to cover this and we're going to put it in our pantry for about 1.5 to 2 weeks to ferment. And but let's go ahead. I'm going to wash my hands. I want to make sure I have clean hands. The fermentation, you want to be careful to be sure that you're only fermenting what it is that you intend to ferment. So here is a batch of tea that we've already made. I prepared this in advance so I can show you the rest of the process. This is a large pickle jar, but you can get large glass jars at Goodwill. It's a great place to get an inexpensive jar. You can also probably find it in the store, but a lot of really cool jars to be found. So we're removing our cover. At the top of this is a baby SCOBY, which that actually forms in the fermentation process, and I'm nurturing my baby SCOBY because I want to be able to give this to somebody else, a friend or a family member who might also want to make kombucha tea. And so this isn't the first time I've had this in this batch. When this gets to be about 1/4 inch thick, you can add it and start using it to make kombucha tea with it. But for now we're just going to save this and we're going to put it in with our next batch again because we want to keep growing this. And we're going to go ahead and strain our kombucha tea out, and when we get to the bottom, we're going to see our SCOBY, that's a mature SCOBY. Now this can get a little bit messy. We'll see how good of a job I can do pouring. I have a funnel here, a really nice strainer that's got a really fine mesh in it. I'm going to get any solids out. There we go. I'm doing a good job this time. Sometimes you have a little wipe up, but it's a little sticky, but it's not too bad to clean up. But we're actually pouring this out, and as the water comes out, or actually the kombucha tea comes out, you can see our SCOBY down here, and it actually looks like a big flat mushroom, but it isn't. It's not at all. This is the adult parent of the little white thin one I just showed you. And originally this was white too, but as it's exposed to the brown tea, of course, it also gets darker. But again, this is a living thing. Just to show you, here's the mature one that we've been using to brew our tea, and this is the baby one that we're using, that we're growing, that we're going to share with a family member here soon. Fermented drinks are a wonderful source of natural probiotics, much cheaper than buying pills in the store, plus very, very effective. And there's a lot of health benefits to drinking kombucha tea. And you can Google this. I'd like to empower you to be informed for yourself. But you can Google kombucha tea health benefits. Now, with fermented foods, it's really important that they smell good. If anything you're making is fermented and it stinks, something's wrong. Just toss it out and start completely over. It should always smell good. This kombucha tea here that we've brewed, it has a nice apple cider smell to it. It's a little vinegary because it is, of course, fermented. Let's go ahead and take a taste of this. Let's go ahead and take a taste. Smells really good. To your health.